Hi everyone, my name is Romy and this video is in collaboration with the Cape Town Music Academy, and we're sharing thoughts and ideas, and my thought for today is, or my thought for this video rather, is on learning people's music or learning music in general. Memorizing music. I don't. People have said to me that I have a really good memory or that I memorize music really well. I don't necessarily like to see it like that, because memorizing means something different for me. Rather than memorizing, I try my best to absorb music to such an extent that I will kind of never forget it. And the way I guess that I approach this is when I listen to a piece of music, for example, from one of my peers that whose band I'm in, and they send me a new piece of music, I always want to get to the place where I don't have to use a chart, or I feel a lot freer like that. I know some people are fine to play with charts and they can access their creativity in the same way. I find that it hampers me a little bit. So when I'm listening to music that we are going to play, I try and learn all the parts of that music in an equal way. So I try and learn the melody to the point that I can sing it. I try and learn the bass line to the point that I can sing it. I try and learn the harmony, and if there's an odd time, or the clave, I try and sing through the clave through the whole song, so that all these parts are going into my brain at the same time, in a sense. And by doing that, I try and formulate relationships between intervals of things, so that one cannot operate without the other. So if there's a melody that's running, and I know the bass line, I can almost hear it in my head. I can create those intervals in my head, and I learn the relationship between those intervals, and then it's almost like they can't be separated. So when I hear that melody again, I may not know what the note is, but I know what it's meant to sound like. And this is it's a really good exercise to listen in that way, and to, before you even touch your instrument. I had a gig earlier on in the year that the music was pretty difficult, and I knew the only way I was going to get through it was to learn it or absorb it, or do my best to do that gig without any charts. And I probably spent about 2 months just listening, not touching my instrument, not looking at a chart, just listening. If we can remember the melody of a pop song, we can remember the melody of a solo, we can remember the melody of an intricate jazz song. That is, it is possible. You just have to put in the time, and once you put in that time, it's amazing what you won't forget. And so I guess you can call it memorizing. But to me, it's not memorizing. I'm trying to create this thing in my head where everything sits together and nothing is alone. The groove is as important as the melody, as important as the bass line. And there's no hierarchy in my head, even though I'm a bass player, so the bass line is very important. But the melody is just as important as that second harmony, as the guitar chords. I should be able to pick apart every piece in my head, and these things sit for years and years, and it's amazing when somebody plays a melody and you are able to find the note, and then suddenly the intervals make sense, and the perception is, wow, your memory is really good. But it's not necessarily that. It's just you can hear the relationships between things as they are meant to be. And that will never change, and you'll never be able to hear it or unhear it. You'll never be able to hear it a different way. And this is something that I use all the time. I almost try and learn the melody before anything else, actually, because I find that everything else kind of fits into place. And for me, it's a good method, and I think that it's a good thing for us to all try to do, although time given. You know, there's not always time to do that, but yeah, that is my method, and it's something that I've used for years, and it's something that I always do, and it allows me to play the music that I love of, you know, whoever it is, without needing music in front of me. So yeah, hopefully that was useful.